Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Karl Klausewitz, the founder and CEO of Success Marketing. Karl brings a unique blend of over 20 years in IT, expertise in internet marketing, and a passion for life and business coaching. Based in South Hadley, Massachusetts, Success Marketing, founded in 2022, is empowering entrepreneurs and leaders to overcome challenges and achieve their potential through a holistic, experience-based approach. We'll be exploring his inspiring journey, how his business transforms clients' lives, and his vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Karl, welcome to Founders Future.
Hey Jay, thanks a lot for having me. Glad to be here. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. A pleasure and an honor to have you on the show. I know that you do some podcasting yourself, so always love having podcasters on with me here. So if you can take us back to the beginning for our listeners here, Karl, what specific problem in the coaching landscape really inspired you to start Success Marketing?
I noticed a lot of leaders and purpose-driven entrepreneurs were stuck, not from lack of passion, but more from a lack of clarity and structured support. And realizing that, along with my formal training and coaching, really over the years spent guiding others through purpose-aligned growth, it made me want to create programs that blended inner work and strategic outcomes.
Amazing. Amazing. I love that. So, what can you say as far as Success Marketing and its offers as a whole evolve and its evolution through the years from when you started in 2022 to now? So, from what you're providing to who you're serving, how has that evolved to today?
Sure, yeah. I began with a deep dive personal development coaching and evolved toward a hybrid that integrates mindset work with messaging and brand clarity and AI strategy. And that was all from just listening to my clients and what their needs were. And so now I help coaches build authentic offers and visibility with structure that converts and confidence that endures.
I love it. I love it. So, I definitely would love to get into the nuts and bolts there to really expand on what you just mentioned for us, especially for our listeners. Once this airs, could very well want to come and work with you and utilize your offerings here. So, if you can walk us through how you're really generating revenue today, as far as the core offer, I know maybe some one-on-one coaching, the leadership programs, as you just said, helping coaches build that authentic offer. So, if you could break down what the core offer is, how it's structured, and who is your ideal client that you do like to work with on this side of things?
Sure. Yeah. I work very closely with aspiring leaders in the corporate world and also with entrepreneurs. And I really help them with anything from lack of clarity to building out the structure needed to really succeed. It depends very much on the needs of the client.
So on that side, as far as the offering itself, is it just one-on-one coaching that you're offering? Do you do group coaching as well? How are you thinking about being able to scale Success Marketing on the with a productized offer? How is that looking in your mind right now?
Yeah, I do more group coaching these days because of the community building that I'm doing, putting together some mastermind groups. And that's, of course, in addition to the podcasting and events that I've been doing.
I love it. I love it. So as far as that side goes, and more of the acquisition for getting those clients in, I know that you have the podcast, you're doing the events. What other channels have you seen be most effective for those leads to come in and to add clientele into Success Marketing? And do you have a lever that you could pull, Karl, for that predictability on that front?
Really, I think authentic visibility is important. LinkedIn content and interviews and referrals, just being really authentic with people. I try to position myself as someone who doesn't just deliver clarity, but anchors it in long-term transformation and momentum.
I love it. I love it. So it sounds like it's really more around that organic outreach right now that you're doing. So are you looking as you continue to grow and scale to add more of that predictability in that system to have that maybe more ads and social media pushing to have that predictability in your leads?
Yeah, definitely. Expanding reach without diluting depth, I think. I want every touch point that posts, workshops, client calls to really reflect my values. So that means being selective with platforms and really intentional with messaging.
I love it. I absolutely love that. And clear as day that this is the quality that you're bringing to the table. Carl, talk to me on the side of as far as the process. Is this something that you're doing as a solopreneur right now, or do you have that team behind you, sales team, marketing team, assistants helping you with the process? What does that look like on the outside looking in?
Sure. Yeah. It's really lean and focused right now. I lead the coaching and the community facilitation and the content strategy. And I also work with collaborators and use AI tools to streamline. But I think preserving the human touch is really important in the client's experience.
Love it. I love it. So are you the one that's handling the sales as well when you get those new clients in, or you
Mhm.
have to close? So you're pretty much running the show from start to finish. So talk to us a bit about as a founder, pretty much running it as a solopreneur. How do you juggle that responsibility between making sure that you're still able to do the founder level work, but bring in the clients as well?
I think it's really critical to think about your whole picture and the bigger picture. I've always been a global thinker, and the if you're only focused on your business and your business itself, then you're ignoring the other parts of your life, and that can really hold you back. So it's more of a balance than anything.
I love it. I love it. So is the next step for you bringing on some more so you can focus on that founder level work and can keep providing that quality? So maybe bringing in setters and closers, having that established sales team with you so you can really continue to stack and scale and grow.
Yeah, I think as I build out and scale my group, I want to refine my tiered coaching pathways and release thought leadership content that bridges purpose AI and ethical marketing and coaching.
I love that. I love that. Overall, as far as a couple bottlenecks that sounds like you're trying to work through is again more on that predictability for the lead generation side of things. Once you have some that established, bringing on some sales help so you can focus on that founder level work. So, with that being said, and those being the bottlenecks that you're trying to break through here, walk us through the vision, right? What does the rest of this year look like for you, Carl, for that continued growth and scale? And what are you laser focused on to achieve that?
I think probably coaching is becoming more saturated and transactional. And so my mission is really to bring back depth to it. So the structure and the heart and tech that enhances, not replaces human connection.
Absolutely. And I think that's super important, especially with the direction that the world is going with AI and technology and how everything is being taken over by that. I think that personalization and that human connection and touch is going to be super important moving forward, especially on this front in coaching and consulting and being that quality piece for people. So, hypothetically speaking, Carl, if we were able to snap our fingers right now and provide you with unlimited resources at your fingertips, what do you think is something that you're implementing immediately to accelerate success marketing's growth?
I think a retreat series or a live experience that integrates identity work and content creation and visibility would really help to equip purpose-driven coaches to lead boldly. Everything's changing so fast when people can really get together and talk and share ideas like that in the live space. I think it really makes a huge difference for people.
Absolutely. And I think goes right back to, as you mentioned, that human connection, right? That human touch and
Yeah.
that personalization that you can add. And again, for our listeners, who a lot of our listeners are in that same realm of that coaching and that consulting. And this is a huge
Mhm.
piece of keeping it personal and keeping that human connection really thriving throughout what you're bringing and pushing forward. So overall, Carl, being that you've been in this space for a bit now, and seeing that success, how do you see the coaching industry evolving in the coming years, especially with your holistic experience based approach? What are you doing to really keep success marketing at the forefront of that evolution?
I think really focusing on standing out in a saturated market that is something that other coaches struggle with right now. For my what I've learned about doing that is something that I can pass on to other people so they're enabled to help more people, which is really all I've ever wanted to do. So I see enabling others to do that as multiplying my own impact.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. And I think that's the biggest piece there, right? Being able to just continue to put forward what you're bringing to the table. In that same light, can you address a misconception that you often hear about the coaching industry as a whole, especially around its value to entrepreneurs or its scalability, especially with the way that we just spoke about and technology and the way the future's going?
I think people are still a little bit, and the public are still a little bit unclear about what coaching is and what the difference between a coach and a consultant is. And I think the biggest misconception is probably that a coach is going to act like someone who knows everything and come in and tell you what you're supposed to do with all your problems and your life. And it couldn't be any further from the truth, because I think it's helping you become more you based on your values. And I think that's really a really important distinction, because it's not someone else's values that are important. It's yours.
Love it. I absolutely love that. So with that, I would love to take us into the lightning round here. Incredible being able to hear your thought process, your journey as a founder so far, and really where you're trying to take this thing. So just truly an honor and a pleasure having you on the show so far, Karl. So on this first side of things, I would love to hear from you about a time where you almost gave up, right? I've had so many founders on the show, and I think that's the biggest piece, and love asking this question because it's so relatable, right? So many founders face a moment where they feel like their back's up against the wall. They want to throw in the towel. Would love to hear about a story from you of that nature, whether it was from your transition from your IT career or something that's happening in coaching, and how did you push through that moment?
I would have to say, when you first start out in something new, everybody experiences that imposter syndrome, and pushing through that and ignoring that, or maybe realizing the opportunity in that, is was probably the biggest hurdle that for me when I first started coaching, because you're changing your identity and that is foundational. So to change on that level requires a real shift. And I think to make that shift, you it's important to get outside help. It takes coaching to be a coach. You have to understand, you have to be on both sides of the aisle, I think, to really understand the dynamic.
Absolutely. And I think that's the most important message out of it is so many people think that they don't need a coach. And
Yeah.
it really is so
Mhm.
crucial, especially with the way that times are nowadays and trying to push forward in your career, in life in general. Having a coach is super, super pivotal to be able to break through and have some more success that you're looking for. Just incredible on that
Yeah.
side. And
Yeah. Can you imagine an Olympic athlete without a coach?
that
That would be
exactly, literally.
ridiculous.
That's
But you want to be a high performer. That's why it's important.
the perfect way to put it. Absolutely. So with that there, as far as a tool or a resource, Karl, whether it's an internet marketing strategy, a coaching insight, an AI tool, what do you think has been the biggest game changer for success marketing on that front this far?
I think AI is really impossible to ignore at this point, and when used correctly, can be nearly invaluable because it has applications on whatever you're working on, really. So for me, I would have to recommend AI tools like Chat GPT, obviously, and or Google Gemini maybe, to help teach and produce and connect more efficiently. And there are also tools now that can help maximize your time. Hey Gen is a tool that can help create videos so you don't spend all your time explaining the same things to people over and over again. So I would have to recommend tools like that too.
I love it. I love it. And then two more questions for you, Karl, before we wrap up the show today. And the first one's going to be, as far as advice goes, what is the best piece of advice that you have personally ever received about scaling a mission-driven business as you are doing now?
I would have to say it's that you don't need more. Everybody's always looking for the next shiny thing. And I think what you need more of is alignment with what already works.
Mm,
So look at what you're already doing that is already working for you, and analyze it deeply and focus on that. Because what I think, there's just so much noise that you can get totally lost in trying to always buy the next shiny bell and whistle that comes along. And it's really about where the rubber hits the road.
I absolutely love that there. And then last, certainly not least here, Karl, what is the best piece of advice that you can offer to our listeners tuning in, just heard your incredible journey, and I'm sure many are going to be reaching out to you to work with you. What can you leave them with before we wrap up the show today?
I would have to say build from your truth and not from any trends. Build from your story because that is what's going to connect you with people, and learn how to coach deeply and communicate clearly and really lead with purpose. That's what's going to make a difference.
Incredible. Incredible. With that, right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And Karl, just want to thank you so much again for coming on the show, sharing your incredible journey and your insights with us. And it's clear as day with your passion and your drive that you're going to continue to see that success. So truly an honor and a pleasure to have you on today. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And also check out Success Marketing at karlcoach.com. And that is Karl with a K and Coach with a K for their resources and coaching services. And also follow Karl on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Karl Klausewitz. For more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.